Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you for being here. Did you really think I was gonna do an entire video without saying anything? I did consider it. Someone suggested it a while back, but just couldn't do it. I gotta run my mouth a little bit. So in this video, what we're gonna do is take your favorite cheat meals and make them healthier, low calorie, whatever you wanna call it, and cheaper. The biggest pet peeve I have with recipes is you have to buy a bunch of crap that you'll never use again. So when I made this low calorie Big Mac, actually, I will say the Big Mac doesn't even have that many calories to begin with. I think it's like 580, but I'm not convinced that it's actually food. So when I made this, I went out and got some hamburger meat, which I will definitely be using. I'll eat the other 2 burgers for dinner later this week. But then I also did not want to go out and buy like mayonnaise and everything for the Big Mac sauce. So what I did is I actually used a little bit of Greek yogurt and ranch seasoning, which sounds very weird, I know that, but it makes chip dip essentially. I mix that with some ketchup and some pickles, and it gets me close enough. And I will say that this is a damn good burger, especially given the calorie count is pretty low because it's 96 lean meat, and I also use an 80 calorie hamburger bun. How does one person talk so much about a hamburger? That is what I want to know. So you know Bobby at your local LA Fitness. I'd be willing to bet that everyone knows Bobby. Comment down below if you do. It's the guy that hits on every girl that walks in, that tells you you shouldn't eat carbs past 3 o'clock, and that these low calorie foods taste the exact same thing as the real deal. I'm not Bobby, guys. I'm not gonna try to lie to you. The low calorie versions are not as good, although I will say that Big Mac, it gets pretty close, especially since you get more food, there's more substance there. But I did attempt to make some low calorie mac and cheese because that stuff is just loaded, right? And I kind of failed. I made it with cauliflower, which right off the bat, you know it's not gonna be as good as noodles, but I kind of just threw in a bunch of variations of cheeses into the crock pot and hoped something would turn out. It's not bad, but it tastes like cheesy cauliflower more or less. So I learned my lesson. Maybe I should actually have followed the recipe a little bit closer, but again, I wasn't trying to spend a bunch of money. I just had all this stuff here. So it's edible for sure, but I don't know if I would really recommend going through the trouble of making this unless you actually follow the recipe. To be fair though, I will say it's probably the best cauliflower I've ever had. It's just the worst mac and cheese I've ever had. So it does not take a Harvard degree to realize where this one's, that's moldy, that's disgusting. So clearly I don't cook much these days, or at least I try not to. But for me, I would say pizza is my favorite cheat meal of all time. Actually, that'd be a good question for the video. What is your favorite cheat meal? And whatever one gets the most thumbs up, I'm gonna try to recreate the macro-friendly way. But the hard part about pizza is the crust, as well as the cheese, and these are amazing if you can find them. I think they only sell them at Walmart, but this whole thing is only 120 calories. It's not like deep dish crust from Chicago, but you know, it does the trick. So one thing I recommend if you're trying to watch your calories is just load it up with vegetables and stuff that has volume. For me personally, I don't even like adding meat to my pizza. It just confuses my brain. I think it's a hamburger or is it a pizza? I don't know, but I will add this because I am going to make a Hawaiian pizza. I'm not going to even ask the question if you like pineapple on your pizza because last time I did, it started a war. Like, people take this very seriously. But anyway, you're supposed to add ham. I don't have ham. I'm gonna be using turkey. I think the whole theme of this entire video is just improvise. Like, it does not have to be to a T. Like, your recipe is not going to work versus not work just because you don't have like southwestern Himalayan salt when the recipe calls for it, you know? It's not that serious. So regardless of whether or not you're team pineapple on pizza, you have to put pineapple on the grill. I'm telling you, this right here, this is a game changer. My poor neighbors, guys, he comes out like, what are you doing with the drone? And I was like, you know, just checking out my roof. If they only knew. But the pizza turned out pretty good. I would say it's a better imitation than the mac and cheese, but not as good as the burger. I have heard really good things about these Icon S'mores pancakes. Wow, those are really good. Not, I want to say IHOP good. IHOP is hard to beat, but these 2 pancakes, which are pretty decent size, 350 calories. I think the good part about this is sometimes you just want a taste of something, you know? So you get that s'mores flavor, you get some pancakes. I'm pretty impressed with these. Yeah. It's baby on the train. I've wanted to do this ever since I laid my eyes on these guys. Yeah, that's not gonna be enough.
Say, trapping getting old, so I've been moving weight. Pigeons in the trunk, I'm on the interstate. Made myself a plug it in.
After I took about 1 million pictures of this, it just made a mess, and all my chocolate chips fell off. Truth be told, I only put it on one side for the picture. Anyway, this is gonna be amazing.
And I still got the act, you know I love the taste. Spending dirty money at the Gucci store.
No exaggeration. Outside of a Pizookie, I would take this over any ice cream sandwich that I've ever had.
Sorry that I got you like Rich Homie way. What I meant to say was make you feel some type of way. I was joking, one thing I don't get to do enough.
This is like a dream come true. I just saw that my microphone setting was messed up. Hopefully I can salvage the audio from the last few clips. If not, I'm gonna cry. I'm going to cry. I should just have to turn it down, but it might sound muffly. I apologize. I'm an idiot. But anyway, that thing was freaking incredible. Moral of the story, you can make almost anything macro friendly. You don't need a recipe, it's all marketing. Just improvise, do the best you can. And cookie sandwiches are amazing. I really want another one, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna cut it off here. Let me know what you thought of this video down in the comment section below. What do you want to see more of? What could I have done better? Just give me some feedback overall. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch. You could have been doing anything in the entire world, and you decided to spend a few minutes with me. That is pretty awesome. I look forward to talking to you guys next time.